Welcome to the new setup. What do you think? It's pretty snazzy if you ask me. Like, you know, you got the bed, you got this thing. So I couldn't just not make a video because, you know, I got a schedule to keep. You just gotta stay on top of this kind of stuff. So for you guys, today we're going over air traffic. Oh, hang on. Well, I gotta be more specific. And we're going over air traffic communication. So, you know, all you electricians out there probably don't know how, what you're exactly listening to whenever you hear these calls that these pilots make. So, you know, it's like, hey, why not have a pilot tell you about them and not a boring one, hopefully. You know, this isn't a lesson. This is more of me talking to you, having a conversation about air traffic control. If you guys have ever listened to air traffic control or pilots talk on the radio, you might be thinking something like, oh wow, so sophisticated and complicated, just so dashing. And I'm over here like, guys, please, come on, don't make me blush. Stop, come on. Truth is, the way that pilots and air traffic controllers speak is actually fairly simple, and we speak the way we do to keep things short and simple. It's just, you gotta know what to say. Believe it or not, the radio is where you put all your frequencies in. Where do you get your frequencies from? Well, a good place to look is a sectional chart, which I've mentioned this before, but there's a website called SkyVector. It's just one big giant sectional chart, and it will have your frequencies. Oh boy. Once you find your airport, next to it is going to be the name of the airport, along with a series of numbers and letters. In my case, my airport frequency is 122.725. And next to that, there's going to be a little C, which stands for CTAF, which stands for Common Traffic Advisory Frequency. That's the frequency that you would go on to talk to other airplanes. Towered airports work a little bit differently, but we'll get to that. If your airport has a blue circle instead of a magenta one, that means that it's a towered airport. And most towered airports don't have the C next to the frequency. Instead, they'll have CT, which stands for control tower, and then the according frequency. But now that we got our frequencies, we can put them in our radio and start making calls. Understanding how to make proper radio calls is important. They change on what type of frequency you're on, but relatively, they're all pretty similar. To keep things clear, we use a special alphabet called the phonetic alphabet. Instead of saying a certain letter, we say the word that goes with that letter. For instance, my tail number is N714SG, but the proper way to say that is November 714 Sierra Golf. For this first scenario, you're gonna start by saying who you're talking to, then who you are, then where you are, then what you want. And then, since we're at a non-towered airport, we're gonna say where we are one more time at the very end. So your call is going to go something like this: Speedway traffic, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf, 5 miles east at 2000, inbound for landing. Speedway traffic. Like, boom! Just like that, that's a radio call. We said who we're talking to, which was Speedway. We said who we are, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf. We said where we are, 5 miles east at 2000, and we said what we wanted to do, which was we were inbound for landing, and then we said the name of the airport one more time. Now, for practice sake, let's say some goofy little goober decides to make a call saying, Speedway traffic, Piper 1234 is joining base for runway 24 Speedway. And then we're just like, well, well, at this point, we're already on downwind, obviously. I mean, you guys, right? Yeah, we're on downwind. Trust. So it's like, well, what do? We gotta make a call. We gotta communicate with this guy, you know, make sure we don't crash into each other. So, you know, we'd say something like, Speedway traffic, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf, making a right 360 in the downwind for traffic on base, Speedway. You're going through all the steps. You're saying who you're talking to, who you are, you're saying where you are and what you're doing, and then where you are again. It's that simple, and all you're doing is making a right 360 just to make some extra room for this guy. But you need to communicate that, and that's how you do it. It's literally just following those steps. Now, when it comes to phrases, it's good to know them, you know. Well, yeah, there's actually no question, you need to know them. So yeah, you got the classics like affirmative, which means yes. Negative, which means no. Copy and Roger, which I feel like a lot of people actually don't know the difference, but copy basically just means, okay, I hear you. Roger means, okay, I hear you, and I will act upon what you said. There is also Wilco, which is actually like the exact same thing as Roger. I actually literally don't know the difference. They literally mean the exact same thing. Like Wilco, I think stands for will comply. A lot of them are pretty self-explanatory. It's just whenever ATC asks you a question and or you reply, you will want to use these set of words rather than any other words. It just keeps the whole system kind of clean and neat and simple. You always want to use the correct words and phraseology, but at the very, very, very end of the day, you know, we're all people. It's like, if for whatever reason you can't get your words out and you just kind of need to talk like a regular human, it's not the end of the world. I mean, they'll judge you for sure, but you guys don't care about that, right? Now, real quick, let's go over talking to ATC or Tower Airport or those scary people that you really don't like talking to as a student pilot because they're scary. I hate them. I love them, but I hate them. Talking with the ATC uses the same phraseology. So we're gonna say who we're talking to, who we are, blah, 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 except we're not gonna say the name of who we're talking to at the end. Once ATC replies, all you're doing is kind of just repeating back to whatever they say. Springdale Tower, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf, 10 miles north at 4,000 inbound for landing. Then Tower's going to come back and say something like, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf, enter straight in on the downwind, traffic 30 degrees right of you, call your base. And all you're doing is just repeating back to them what he just said. So you're going to say, straight in on downwind, I'll call my base looking for traffic, Cessna 714 Sierra Golf. So after you made that call, and you noticed I did not say who I was talking to at the end. I didn't say who I was talking to at all, just because we've already established contact with each other and we already know who we're talking to, and this really only applies to towered airports or controlled. And just like that, you're like 2% more knowledgeable about all aviation stuff. So congratulations, you deserve a cookie. You should go bake some like right now. Actually, wait, there's like a minute left in the video, so wait, we need to test your skills. All right. See if you can manage to reply to ATC. I'm going to be ATC in this case. Your call sign is going to be Sierra Mike 2244. Okay? Sierra Mike 2244, cleared for takeoff runway 7, climb and maintain 3,500. In case you didn't get it, you were supposed to say cleared for takeoff, runway 7, climb and maintain 3,500. Now, I guess that example is a little bit different than what we've been doing, so I'll let it slide if you weren't able to get it, but work on it. I expect big things from you. Here's a little bit of a different one. Sierra Mike 2244, turn heading 180 and descend to 2,000. And for that one person who didn't get the call right, you were supposed to say turning 180, descending to 2,000. 2244 Sierra Mike. Or Sierra Mike 2244. Every person's going to make their call a little bit different. Like some people will just make them super short. They're still understandable. They're just really, really short. And some people will make them way wordier than they need to be. Like for instance, in that last example, someone could have said 180 2000 244. He said what direction he needs to go. He said what the altitude needs to be at, and he said his tail number. He said the last 3 of his tail number. But you're allowed to do that after you've kind of been talking to with a specific controller for a while. Hello. So I don't know what happened, but all of the footage for the rest of that video just disappeared. So, but that was basically it. The entire video I was holding the phone up to my mouth like I was using it as a microphone, but I don't think it was actually doing anything. I think it was all the sound was coming through the audio from the camera, which is fine. It worked out, but I mean, it was kind of pointless and it looked kind of funny if you heard the audio how it was. A friend did suggest investing in a microphone, just a little portable one, a nice one, but a little portable one. And you know, I think I really might do that, just because it'd be good, I think. But I'm home now, so I actually, you know, can have my setup how it usually is. And oh yeah, and I was on vacation. That's what I wanted to say. I was on vacation, so that's why I was where I was. But that's it. So till next time.
Stay productive.